Hi, good morning everyone, and welcome to our beautiful summer days. We are coming into a summer. Hopefully it should be a beautiful summer. The sun should shine upon us, physical sun, but really we need the spiritual sun also to shine upon us. It should be warm physically and warm spiritually too. Not too warm, but warm. As my grandmother would always say, she would say it in Yiddish. She would say, "Teh," like tea, and Tehillim is very, very good. It's good to drink a tea, she would say, and it's good to say Tehillim. But it's got to be warm. The tea's got to be warm, and the Tehillim has got to be warm. So when these two things are warm, then it's good. So a warm tea is good, and a warm Tehillim is good. So we need warmth physically and warmth spiritually, much more so. So let's share some words about the parsha of this week. So as we know, this week's parsha we're talking about the 12 spies. As we learn in this week's parsha, they call them the spies that Moshe Rabbeinu sent, and the whole story that they came back, and unfortunately instead of bringing a good message, they brought a message that we cannot go into Israel. We're not going to be able to conquer the land of Israel. And unfortunately, because of that, God came and He said that the Jews will not enter Israel for another 40 years, really 39 years, altogether 40 years, they will wait until they enter Israel. That's, in short, the story that we have, and because of that, it took us a 40-year generation being in the desert before entering into Israel. That's more or less the story, a lot of details. I'm sure there's a lot of classes about it, a lot of insights. We can give many insights, but we have only 5 minutes. There's something very, very interesting. The story continues. When Moshe Rabbeinu came out to the Jews the next day and he told them about the message of God, and God was very upset, and because they didn't want to go into Israel, because he said it's not a good land, this is why they're going to stay in the desert for 40 years, and all the next generation will come into Israel. They will not enter Israel. We'll learn the story. They became very sad. They were crying. They were weeping. And they said, "No, we really want to go into Israel." And so much they became on fire to go into Israel that they said, "We're going to fight right now." And Moshe Rabbeinu tells them, "Don't do it." God said no. They said, "No, we really want to go." And some of them went and they got killed. Oh, they got hurt. It was not a good situation. Comes a big question over here. The day before they were all crying, they said, "We do not want to go into Israel." They got a message of the spies. The spies said, "It's not a good place." They said, "We don't want to go in." And as we know the story, they cried all night. Next day, Moshe Rabbeinu says, God said, "You're not going into Israel." You really rebuked Israel. You said bad about Israel. You're not going in. Only the next generation will go in. They become so upset. They said, "No, we want to go in." What happened over here? What changed? Moshe Rabbeinu did not come to them with a dialogue, said, "No, it is a good land. It is a good place." He just told them, God said, "You are not going in." Over. He's upset, you're not going in. You're bad, you're saying bad about Israel, Lashon Hara, you're not going in. And then suddenly they start saying, "No, we don't want to go in," and they're fighting to go in. Normally to convince somebody, you got to go to him and tell him it's good. Moshe Rabbeinu didn't say that. What is this Jews? One day this way, one day that way. What's going on? So the Baal Tanya talks about it in Tanya when he gives a beautiful insight about it. And he says, this shows the beauty of Am Yisrael. That Am Yisrael really are good people, great people, beautiful souls, and they only want to do good. Sometime the Yetzer Hara takes over. And that's what happened that day. The Yetzer Hara took over. The spies came and they said it's not a good place. So the Yetzer Hara took over and they started crying, "We don't want to go into Israel." But truly, the inside of them, they're beautiful people. The next day when Moshe Rabbeinu came and he told them, "You are not good people. You bashed Israel. So that's why not going in." What Moshe Rabbeinu did, he bashed the Yetzer Hara in them. As soon as they bashed the Yetzer Hara in them, the real beauty of the Jews came out. And as soon as the Yetzer Hara was bashed, when the beauty of the Jews came out, they became back to the old, beautiful, good people when they said, we want to go into Israel. And what is the message that Baal HaTanya teaches us from this? That really, everybody's good. Every Jew is a good person. The reason you see sometimes no good, it's not him, it's his Yetzer Hara. What we got to do is just bash the Yetzer Hara. Don't try to explain him. Don't try to go dialogues with him. It's not going to work. The Yetzer Hara wants no good. It's not that a person is no good. The Jew is a good person. It's the Yetzer Hara in him. What we got to do, we got to bash the Yetzer Hara. Tell him, who do you think you are? You evil, you bad. And when you bash him, then the good of the Jew comes out. And that's a beautiful message to us. We always talk, relate, and we're trying to convince others. You don't have to convince any Jew. Every Jew, the Baal HaTanya says, is beautiful. He's a jewel. He's a neshama. It's great. Sometimes they've been covered with the Yetzer Hara. The only thing is, you got to get rid of his Yetzer Hara. Just tell him, this is the bad part of you. That's not you. You're great. And you're going to see how the light comes out. You're going to see how his greatness, how his beauty comes out. I think it's a beautiful message to learn from this story and from this Shabbos. How to look at another Jew. Jews are great. Even when you don't see it, look deep, you'll see they're great. And this is one of the most beautiful sichot of the Rebbe by the Rav. The Rebbe speaks about his parsha and he says, look at the whole story. Our Jews are great. Despite that God was upset, God still gave them what they wanted. They wanted to be in the desert. He gave them to be in the desert. Because Jewish people are good people. Jewish people have a beautiful neshama. Even when you see sometimes negative, the negative only comes from the Yetzer Hara. But a neshama, a Jew, is beautiful. It's shining. We got to find that shine in everyone. We got to find that glory, that jewel, that shining, beautiful stone. Every stuff all, a good Shabbos.